Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Natalie Perez. So I'm going to finish off the series of the tools you need to grow your relationship with God. I decided to have my location in the car, as you can see. So welcome. Thank you for joining me on this video. So the first one I want to talk about is worship. So I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really like into music that much. Like I'm not really like musically inclined either. So when I would worship God or praise him, it would be like, through prayer or through like reading my Bible, but it was never really through worship music and praise. Like I would do it like at church, of course, but on my own time, it just like I would listen to the songs, but it was just to listen to them, but it wasn't really my way of worshiping God. But I remember this season I was going through a really rough season, like really difficult season, and worship songs and praise songs became so significant to me in that season. I don't know if you guys have heard this before, where people are like, oh, like be careful what you listen to, because you don't know what you're allowing in, and the spiritual part about it, where it's like you don't know what the person who created the song is carrying, that you could begin to carry, and all those things. And I 100% agree with that. But I think worship became so significant to me because it made me realize, like, honestly, if you listen to a sad song, you're gonna end up feeling sad after. If you listen to a song where someone is feeling like anxious or someone is feeling angry, and while they're singing that song or whatever, and you're listening to it, that's what you're depositing within you, and that's how you're gonna end up feeling. So worship and praise songs became so significant to me because honestly, anytime I was sad, anytime I didn't understand, anytime like in this season where I would overthink, I would begin to play worship music, and I would begin to play a praise song. And again, that wasn't what my go-to usually was. But while I was playing those songs and those worship and praise songs, like it became so powerful to me because it made me realize, like, every time I played a worship song, every time I played a praise song, it would encourage me, it would remind me of God's promises, it would empower me, it would like leave me feeling peaceful, leave me feeling happy after listening to them, because it would remind me that I'm not alone. It would remind me that I'm gonna be okay. Like God is with me. Like don't worry. Like God is my joy. Like I have the victory in the end. And in this season, it was a really difficult one. But worship and praise songs, honestly, were how I made it through. And like really thinking about it, I'm like, wow, because that wasn't my way of like doing things before, So worship became really significant to me. So I really do encourage you, like, if you're going through it, you're struggling, and maybe at times, you do feel sadness coming over you, you feel anxiousness coming over you, or you feel all these emotions coming over you, like play a worship song, like play a praise song, and watch how it just changes your whole entire day, because through that song, you're getting encouraged, you're being led to God, you're getting reminded that God is with you. So there's a verse in the Bible, let me pull it up real quick, and it is Romans 12:1, and it says, "Therefore I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship." So in that season, I was like, God, like I'm doing everything like you want me to do, or I feel like I'm like trying my best with my relationship with you, Lord. Like I don't understand why all of this is going on. Like I'm trying my best to walk in your will. I'm talking in ways that are righteous. My actions are ways that are righteous. My thoughts are like, I love you with all my heart, my mind, my soul, and my strength. But why do I still feel all of these emotions? Why do I still feel this way? And I remember in that season, like I was truly worshiping God, not only with my words and actions, but when like these emotions would just come at me, I would be like, no, I'm not gonna fall into those emotions. Like I'm gonna play a worship song, I'm gonna play a praise song, like I'm gonna let God uplift me in those moments. Am I gonna say it was always easy? No. Am I gonna say I never felt my emotions? No, I felt them, but I didn't fall into them. But I would allow that worship and praise songs to uplift me in the midst of that season of what I was going through. So listening to worship music and worshiping God that way, let me tell you, it does work. Like, it does. And I'm not just saying it to say it, but I experienced it in my own life. And for a person where music wasn't really their thing, like it changed it for me. So that was another thing I did in that season. Another thing I want to talk about today is fasting. So what is fasting? Fasting is you humbling yourself before the Lord. It's like you saying, God, I'm going to sacrifice this, and in the midst of me sacrificing this, I'm gonna fast. I'm gonna pray in the midst of that. I'm gonna just like allow you to show me, because what fasting does is it really makes you focus on God. Like, it really does. So for example, you could fast from coffees. Like, this whole week I'm not gonna get a coffee, and it's gonna be my fast to God, but I'm gonna continue my relationship with God. I'm gonna pray, I'm gonna read my word, I'm gonna pray that throughout this week God really just show me something, that God really pour into me, that he revealed to me the things in my heart that I'm carrying that I don't know I'm carrying. Because when you're doing that, you're like really in that fasting, you're really focusing on God than just like a regular day where you're not fasting, because it's like you believe, but this time it's like you're sacrificing something to really focus, to really hear God. Another thing you could fast from is secular music, if that's something you struggle with. From social media, I'm gonna be off of it 2 hours every day for a week, and within those 2 hours I'm gonna listen to worship music, I'm gonna pray, I'm gonna read my Bible, I'm gonna try my best to walk in righteousness and holiness and really be just walking right before the Lord. So fasting and prayer can help us hear from God. So in that time, you're really trying, it can help you hear from God more. Another thing fasting and prayer can do, help reveal hidden sin, maybe the things that you don't even know is a sin. God's like, hold on, I need to show you something. Another thing fasting and prayer, it strengthens your intimacy with God. It strengthens your relationship with God. Also, fasting and prayer can teach us to pray with right motives, rather than maybe you were one that used to pray like, okay, God, I'm gonna pray because I really want this to happen, but it has to happen. If it's not this way, I'm not gonna believe in you. If it's not this way, it's not gonna work. But in the midst of you fasting and praying and reading your word, God begins to reveal to you like, hold on, you got to make sure that whatever you pray at the end of the day, you're like, Lord, may your will be done in it, even if it doesn't turn out the way I want it to turn out, because I trust you enough to know that you're going to lead me to what is best for me. Fasting and prayer can help you build your faith stronger. I'm going to be honest with you guys. This works. Let me tell you, in that season, I fasted like in my way. I sacrificed whatever was that I felt like, okay, God, this is important to me. I'm going to fast from it for this song. Throughout the day for this song or whatever it was, and I was like, okay, God, like, I'm gonna do this, and these are my prayers. And I'm telling you guys, I was intentional about it. Like, I was so real about it, and I was like, God, I really need you to lead me this season. Like, I really don't understand a lot of things, and you know what, I'm gonna take that extra step, and not only am I gonna pray about it, am I gonna read your word, am I gonna worship you with all that I got, but you know what, I'm gonna take that extra step and I'm gonna fast about it, God. I kid you not, guys. I kid you not. God moved. Like, I mean, he moved. It was crazy. Like, there's some situations where you can't really do anything. Like, all you could really do is trust in God and place it in God's hands and hope that he moves and hope that he does the impossible. And he did that. I'm not kidding. He did that. He revealed to me things that I didn't even know were there that I was like, oh my goodness. Like, he did so many things that I, Natalie, personally could not do on my own. Like, he would lead me and guide me and show me like literally what I needed to do in that season. Like, in that season that I was in, it felt like I was like by myself in a way, where it's like all of these chaotic things were happening, but I loved God so much that I was like, I'm not gonna move a finger, I'm not gonna touch anything, I'm not gonna say anything I'm not supposed to unless you lead me, I'm not gonna do anything unless you tell me to do it. I'm just gonna pray and I'm gonna fast that you move, that you touch, that you do what you have to do in the midst of all this. And I kid you not, since I was intentional, since my motives were like honestly right before the Lord, like, God moved. And I was so grateful. I was so grateful for like everything God did, but at the same time, I had to put in my part. Like, I had to trust in God. Am I gonna sit here and say it was easy? No, it was not easy. There were days where it was so difficult. There was days where my emotions would just like get the best of me, but not in the way where I would fall into them, but I would feel them, and all I could do was pray. Like, all I can do was continue to trust God. All I could do is hope that God was gonna move and trust in him. Man, that was hard. That was not an easy thing to do, but I'm grateful that I stood strong because I got to see God move. Because let me tell you, not only did I get to see God move in situations, but he moved in my life. He worked within my heart. He helped me build things in me that I never thought I was capable of doing, you know? So I really do encourage you guys, in the midst of difficult seasons, like, pray, worship, put that worship music on. Worship God through your actions and through your words, and really let him lead you on what to say or what to do. And fast if you have to. If you feel like, okay, in this situation I feel like I need to fast about it, then do what you have to do wherever God is leading you. You'll even know when you need to fast. Like, you'll just feel it. Like, God will lead you to it. Or if you desire it, then do it and watch how God moves. So I just wanted to share with you guys worship and fasting because they work. I kid you not. God moved in my life in powerful ways through them, and I'm grateful for it. And yeah, so I hope that this video was a blessing to you. I just wanted to come on here and just share with you guys the power of worship and fasting and how God moved in my life through them. So like, subscribe if you would like, follow me on Instagram, and I just love encouraging people and I love pouring into you guys. So I thank you so much for being willing to listen to this video, but more than anything, I hope that it encouraged you. I hope that it blessed you, and I hope that you can use these tools with your relationship with God so that you can just grow and grow stronger and continue to get built into that man or woman of God that God has called you to be. So